Welcome! Oh, Robin, you found out your cat's in a gang. Wow. Very impressive, Nugget. Welcome, everyone, to our Traitorous Season 1 finale. I'm very nervous. I say this every episode, but, like, seriously, like, the finale I'm very, very nervous for. We have a lot to get to, so as I said last week, it might run more like 3 hours than the usual 2.5, but I will try and make it as snappy as possible. Sims might be acting a little slow. We got a lot of Sims in one area together for the bulk of the episode, which means there's going to be very few commercial breaks this time, but they're probably going to be, like, somewhat long commercial breaks, because I have to switch between a couple different save files, and things might be a little clunky when we get into it. But I'm going to try my best to make Sims do what they want to do. They just don't really want to cooperate the most fluidly when there's, like, 25 Sims on a lot. You know what I mean? So, like, we're going to do our best, but we have a lot to get through, and if I'm a little clunky looking at my script, it's just because I want to make sure I don't miss anything, and we have kind of a lot of, like, bouncing back and forth of scenes, without commercial breaks in between, unlike our bouncing back and forth in previous episodes. So yeah, we have a lot to get into, but it should be a very exciting finale episode. I'm super nervous, but I'm mainly excited. Thank you for the compliments, of course. This is a Sephora lipstick. I don't know what shade. A red shade. But, you know, listen, some of you have maybe guessed what event is taking place in our finale tonight. Could be where most of those, you know, that large group of Sims is going to be. So I figured I'd dress up for it, you know. I think that's about all I have to say. Oh, besides, well, I'll preface it once we get into this scene, but, again, take it what I'm saying, not necessarily what's being shown in The Sims. I'm making it work as best as possible. So, you can feel the nervous alcohol in your legs. That's a big mood, Jenna. I guess with that, let's get into it. I hope you're all caught up. There's summaries in the Discord, of course, if you're not, but we're going to be getting into things pretty much right away here as far as jumping into some information about what we found out at the end of last episode, which was your, 3, 2, 1 spoiler alert, if you're not quite caught up. But the end of last episode, we did confirm that there was nothing in Annabelle's grave to Julia and Robert II, and Madison did find out that she is, in fact, Julia Winston and Terrance Abrams' daughter Annabelle, actually, the long-dead Winston child. So we're heading back to a flashback time that we have been to before, even though it's been quite a long while. We're heading back 13 years ago to whatever year that is. I don't remember. 2007? Is that what I calculated? Back to where Terrance was asking someone on the dark web if they could go ahead and take care of his child for him, and it is actually the next night where he is meeting up with this mysterious person from the dark web. This is where, pretend there's a baby bassinet here. I can't put one here because this isn't a lot. And Sims is annoying and you can't carry babies. But anyways, we'll pretend there's a little bundle of an infant on the ground next to him, and Terrance is meeting up with this person from the dark web who has just walked up. It's a little bit more of a less necessarily professional and, like, brooding, kind of intimidating person than Terrance was necessarily hoping to see, but he's hoping that this is the right person, and even this person walking up to him was like, oh shit, I didn't realize the person on the other end of the line was Terrance Abrams. I guess I didn't think you looked super comfortable holding that infant in your arms and all those press releases about, the new Winston child and such, and Terrance is just gonna kind of brush this off. He's not really here to banter with this person, and so Terrance is just gonna bristle and be like, whatever, you better keep your mouth shut, that it is me, and about this whole situation in the first place. This person's gonna go ahead and apologize for, having to meet in the middle of the night, but Terrance is like, whatever, it's better to do by the cover of night. Anyways, and so this dark web contact is gonna go ahead and coo with the baby a little bit and be like, oh goodness, she's really cute. And Terrance is like, whatever, is that a problem? And the person's like, I guess it's better that they're cute than ugly. And Terrance is like a little bit put off because this person seems very chill about the situation. I mean, he did contact someone to kill his child, but it's not necessarily a comfortable situation for him. But this other person seems really chill about it. And the contact is like, okay, so I guess I'll be in contact with you again and I can get the baby back to you by the end of the week or something. And Terrance is like, no, I don't need it back. Like, just, it's probably less suspicious if the body doesn't get back to the house anyways. Just get, just get rid of it, dispose of it, do whatever, just make sure it's gone and doesn't get traced back to me. I don't care, what you do. This is on your end at this point. And the other person's like just gonna be a little quiet at that before Terrance getting a little he just kind of wants to get out of here, get the situation over with. He's put the baby on the ground and he's like, okay, fine, here's the money, do what you need to do, and this won't, this is never gonna come up again, right? And this person's like, I guess, nope. And Terrance is gonna go ahead and make his way on out now, and head away from this situation. And we're gonna go ahead and pick back up with our contact here as they are staring down at this bundle of infant that they have in their arms here, and it's actually a very, very young 15-year-old Hunter Clarke, who has gotten himself into a situation that is much more above his pay grade than he was necessarily expecting, as this wasn't exactly the job he thought he'd signed up for, but here he is now with a baby in his arms, the Winston baby, kind of freaking out and not exactly sure what to do here, and so he's gonna go ahead and pick up the baby. He knows that his sister, Marissa, is actually staying in a cabin with some of her college friends nearby. Like, this is a popular camping area, in the woods and such, so he's gonna go ahead and head over to the family cabin where he knows that she's staying right now. There's the pretend this is the baby in like a massive net that you can carry that he's brought over. That is the wrong person. Terrance, you're at home. And so Hunter's gonna go ahead and head on up to the cabin in the middle of the night here and go ahead and knock out and hopes that his sister is up and can maybe help him with stuff. They've gotten into their share of mischief over the years together, and she's always been, good to him, and so he's gonna go ahead and call on her for a bit of bigger help than he has before, but we'll go ahead and have her come on out to the porch here as she is spending some chill time with her friends. She's gonna come out and be a little bit annoyed immediately at seeing her dumb younger brother here, but then immediately look kind of confused at seeing a baby along with him. And Hunter, freaking out a little bit, is gonna be like, oh my god, Marissa, you have to help me. I don't, I fucked up. And she's like, what the hell did you do? Why are you here? Why do you have a baby with you? What the fuck did you get into? What did you get yourself into now? Guess I'll have a seat and talk over here. And, Hunter's gonna just kind of freak out and start kind of rambling about it and being like, I don't know, I didn't, I just assumed that it meant, babysitting or something. I didn't know who, would ask me to take care of their 3-month-old child and, expect, that they would want me to, take care of it, get rid of it, take care of it. I don't know. And Marissa's like, are you fucking stupid? What are you fucking around in the dark web again? Because I told you that, you're gonna get into, a situation that's way over your head if you keep doing that, which you clearly have. And he's like, I don't know, all the forums that I usually fuck around in, people just ask me to hack into their school and improve their grades, or bury their dead dog that they can't quite bring themselves to bury. Finally, nothing like this extreme ever comes up on the places that I go to. Okay, how was I supposed to know that someone would really that I would be contacted by fucking Terrance Abrams asking me to kill his new infant? And at that, Marissa's gonna be like, this is Annabelle Winston that is on the porch right now. Hunter, I swear to God, And Hunter's like, listen, I know, I'm an idiot, I'll stop, okay? I'll stop messing around in there, you're right, it was a bad idea, but I don't know what to do about this now, I can't kill a baby, I'm not going to do that, what am I supposed to do with this? And Marissa has a lot on her plate already, with business school and trying to appease her parents, to be the hopeful heir to the company since her older brothers went down the medical route, and so she, she can be a bit of a quick thinker in situations like this, and so she's like, okay, fine, yes, I will. I don't know what to do yet, but I'll figure something out. Just go home before Mom and Dad realize that you're gone. I hope you realize that you are going to owe me so fucking hard after this. Like, this isn't just, scaring away the idiots that chase me around school thinking they're in love with me. This is like, you're going to owe me for the rest of your life if I help you fix this situation. And Hunter's like, yes, of course, 100%, I know. Okay, thank you so much. I'll head home, So Hunter's gonna go ahead and make his way back, and Marissa's gonna, go ahead and go grab its baby, trying to figure out what to do. And now she knows that not only is there pressure on her to, become the heir to the Securvo company and Clarke family fortune and such, but part of being the heir, there's a major pressure once she's, graduating from school soon to get end up getting a baby as well. She's kind of got like a relationship going with Sean and such, but she's seeing an opportunity here. She's obviously not going to kill a baby either, but she's been looking into adoption and such ever since she found out that she actually couldn't have kids herself, being, feeling like a disappointment in that. As people know, she's been looking into adoption anyways. Maybe she can fast track the process, and no one can be any more the wiser. She's, known to kind of keep things secret for a grand reveal anyways, and so she's thinking maybe she has been going down the adoption route more than other people thought she was, and she actually has gotten a baby and is just going to surprise the family by showing up with one. She's not sure if it's the perfect solution, but it's the only thing she can think of now, and almost even glad that this opportunity to appease her parents is sort of fallen on her lap a little bit, even if she's definitely still pretty pissed off at her brother for getting her involved in this whole situation. And so we'll leave Marissa to take care of that baby there in the past, and with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and head back to the future. Jump back forward into 2020. It's the middle of the night. If you see the sun coming up, pretend that it's pitch black. I did not want to wait another day in Sims for it to get dark again. But we're picking up in the middle of the night again as Robert II has just dug up Annabelle's grave here, and Julia's seen and maybe started thinking for the first time that perhaps something is a little bit fishy here with the empty casket, as she's going to, once I unmute the Sims. She's gonna start, as she was beginning to question him at the end of last episode, of if he can explain himself for this, and of course Terrance is gonna start in immediately with like, listen, I figured if you happened to open the casket that it would be traumatizing even seeing, the dead baby anyways, so I just figured that to not leave it there. And Julia's, she's been sort of used to listening to him for the past few years anyways, and is gonna start to say that, like, I guess that, but Robert's gonna jump in, still pretty drunk, and be like, come on, Julia, you're valedictorian, you're smarter than that, that is such horse shit. And Julia's gonna kind of stand up for herself more than she usually does, continue to anyways, and be like, yeah, that doesn't make sense, like, where would it be then? And Terrance is gonna kind of scramble a little bit and try and figure out what he can say to solve this, but he's a little bit cornered here, and so he's gonna be like, God, you know what? Fuck it. I've spent over a decade acting like I like you people anyways, and everything's starting to fall into place for what I want regardless. So listen, Julia, don't start getting hope that, your precious baby is alive anyways, okay? Even if she's not in there, she's still dead. Ignore any flirting between them. It's Sims being autonomous and annoying. Be angry, damn it. Your baby is 100% still dead, and you're never going to see it again. Okay, that I never wanted a child, okay? And Julia's definitely never heard Terrance speak like this to her, and is gonna be obviously pretty upset about it as she continues to, here, let me just at least get them into an argument so that they can argue about morals. Perfect. We can cue that up a couple times to continue having them be angry at each other here. So yeah, Julia's gonna kind of start thinking about a lot of things that have happened in the past as well. Like, God, like, you always have tried to push me away from from my brother trying to come for me or talk to me about this stuff. And I never quite knew why, but, like, I've been in love with you since the day I met you, and I never thought that you would have anything but my best interest in mind, I guess. But, like, I don't know who I'm looking at or talking to right now, because because you're trying to get me to go inside and defending me instead of, like, falling to your knees in anguish, like, you should be doing alongside me. And I don't know how, I guess I didn't see it until now. And Terrance is like, listen, it doesn't matter if you saw it or, you know, if you two even say anything. Your father's already told me that he's going to be giving me a bigger chunk of the inheritance, okay? And are you kidding me with these, with this act? Do you think that's going to help your cause? Do you think he's not going to listen to me if I tell him that it's probably best if you just get locked away, Julia? And Robert, you've been acting pretty erratic lately. You really think digging up his granddaughter's grave in the backyard is going to look like you're the most stable person in this family? No. You both know that he's going to believe me, so it doesn't matter anymore. I'm getting what I want, and I don't even need to put up this act anymore. So do what you want, but things on my end are going to continue to go the way I want them to. And there's not a damn thing that either of you can do about it. And with that kind of leaving Julia a little bit in shambles here, Terrance is going to go ahead and just stomp away, leave the situation. You know, he doesn't need to bother himself with this. And Robert II, still pretty drunk and pissed off here, and just be like, I can't believe it. Are you kidding me? Like, it's our fucking dad. Like, why wouldn't he, like, let's just show him the grave. Like, why wouldn't he just believe us? And I'll just get him in a conversation with Julia here. And Julia's pretty distraught. You know, she's not the most emotionally stable person. As you see, she is somewhat fragile and pretty distraught here. It's been a very long night, kind of finding out that her husband's been lying to her, and finding out that she's been sort of sobbing over an empty gravesite here. So she's like, I don't know. I think he's right. I see the way that he interacts with our dad, and I always was so happy they got along so well, but I don't know. I don't even know if that's going to work. I don't know what to believe anymore. I just know that I don't want to come out here and mourn over this empty casket that you've dug up here. So if we can just put it back for now and figure out something soon. I can't talk about this tonight. I can't figure out what the hell to do, but all I know is that I can't just sit here and stare at this without it upsetting me, because it doesn't change the fact that I don't have my baby girl, and so I'd like to at least have something to remember her by. So just put it back, please. We can talk about this later. I'm sorry. I can't do this right now. I can't figure this out right now. And Julia, pretty distraught, of course, on the verge of tears, is going to go ahead and head inside as well, pretend Terrance is inside. And as pissed off as Robert is, he doesn't want to, like, upset his sister anymore, and he understands where she's coming from, so he'll put the work in to at least bury it for now, but he's not going to drop this, and I think deep down he knows that there's probably a good chance that Terrance is right. He sees how much his dad's been dismissing him over his son-in-law this year, and frankly the past few years, as much as Robert didn't necessarily see it before. And with the Ritter charity gala coming up, there is a lot of pressure on the family to, you know, behave and be the perfect Winstons, and so for now he'll appease Julia and just let things rest enough until they can figure out a better plan to make sure things can be justified, things can be set right, because Robert II is not going to drop this, but he doesn't want to, you know, push his sister farther than he needs to for now. So we'll leave Robert to that as the sun is cresting over the horizon. We're going to go ahead and pick back up with a couple other people that had quite a night together as we head back to Rosalie's place, where Chris showed up last night after a pretty big argument with Amanda, as we saw the morning after, as they spent, you know, a fun night together at Rosalie's place, as he took up refuge there from the storm. Whether I'm talking about Amanda or the weather, you decide. But they're, you know, just waking up, having some breakfast together and chatting and shit, of course. And Chris is kind of complaining about, let's hope they're not running to go hook up, because, okay, no, they're good. I just don't want them to leave the scene yet. And, Chris is just kind of talking and complaining about everything, and not really wanting to have to go back to his family home, and, you know, God, on top of that, even having to go through the whole Ritter Gala and go through that shtick with Amanda this weekend. Like, it doesn't sound like a good time to him, and he's really over it, and he's dreading having to go and try and patch things up to at least be civil once he gets back. And such, you know, he's not sure what kind of mood Amanda's going to be in the next day, but it's for sure not going to be good. And I guess Charlie's showing up here because she's sisters with Chris, but pretend she isn't. We're gonna cheat and have her leave real quick, since Chris is technically in this household. Please go away, Charlie. That's not canon. Thank you. Anyways, we'll get back to the conversation here, as Rosalie will be like, I get it. I mean, I don't really like having to go to these family events either and put on, you know, the happy Winston smile for everyone, but it doesn't mean that I necessarily keep my mouth shut if someone asks me my true opinion on things, and you know, you don't either, Chris. And you know, if you don't want to take back what happened last night, God damn it, everyone who's related to Chris, go away, please. God damn it. God damn it. We'll just keep the camera on this side, I guess. And so, yeah, Rosie's just like, I mean, my grandparents are always trying to use me as, like, the token black grandchild at these events. It doesn't mean I let them. And Chris is like, I know. I know I don't. I'm not like you, though. Honestly, I admire how you've kind of broken away from your family so much. I've honestly kind of always admired how you made a life for yourself outside of the Winston name after high school. I always kind of have admired that to some degree, because it's something that I've never really been strong enough to do. And Rosie's like, oh, really? I mean, I guess I'll have to tell all my high school girlfriends that were pining after you that, you know, looks like you're the one who thinks that I'm the more desirable one here, actually. And he's like, oh, really now? And, I mean, Rosie's like, come on, you knew that you were the hottest bachelor at Northridge High back in the day, Mr. Clarke, like, don't even play. And Crystal, you know, just let his face fall a little more again and be like, listen, when I saw you go off and get your own, like, small place, like this adorable house, and, you know, start your own floral business and stuff, of course, I always kind of was envious from afar, as, I mean, what did I do after high school? Went to school for something that my parents told me I should, and went and got into a relationship with a girl my grandparents told me I should, and I'm still living in a house that I don't fit in. I mean, none of those are my choices. You made all of your own choices, and I wish that I had like a tenth of the courage to stand up to my own family and do the same as you have. And Rosalie will kind of question something that he said in there and ask him a little bit about how, so you really don't want to be with Amanda, you don't care about her? And Chris will sit and think for a while before answering and just saying that I want to love her. I don't, though. I mean, I think I want to love her, but I don't even know if that's me actually wanting to make things work, or still just listening to the voice of my family that's always been in my ear. But no, we've always been two puzzle pieces I've tried to get to fit together, but we just don't, and I've never actually really said that out loud before, but I've known for a while that we don't mesh. Of course we don't. We're opposite people in so many ways. I mean, if hanging out with you has shown me anything, it's just how jealous I am of the lifestyle that you live over here outside of the grasp of your, rich and prestigious family, Rosie. And like even watching my mom and my sister go off and do whatever the hell they want to make their own lives now. I'm the only one being left behind and just stuck here and stuck in a life that I didn't even choose. And Rosalie will be quiet for a moment before saying, like, Chris, you are strong and you can still have that if you want. You know that, right? Like, listen, I know it's scary and it's hard because I went through that too, but I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, and you're going to get a lot of pushback from your family, and they might not even treat you great for a while because I went through that too, but you'll be so much happier on the other end if you decide to choose yourself over whatever they want for you. And I've been looking at other places. I've been trying to find somewhere new now that I am pregnant, because as much as I love my little house on the edge of town here, it's not exactly enough space to raise a kid in, and I found a place that's pretty reasonable, and it's really good, and it's in a perfect area that, suits my needs, and I was planning on moving soon after the gala. I was going to tell you, but we haven't really been in contact much lately, but if you want to choose yourself and you want to get away from it all, I'll tell you the exact time and date that I'm leaving once I have it figured out, and if you happen to be on my driveway the morning I decide to leave, then you're welcome to come along with me. And Chris will be like, that honestly sounds like a fairy tale. I don't know if I can get up the courage. I don't know how strong as you say that I am yet, but I'll think about it and I will let you know. Okay. And Rosalie's like, yeah, of course, absolutely. Because I'll go back and tease her a little bit and be like, okay, so if all your friends had crushes on me, what about you then? Did you ever have a crush on me in high school? And Rosie's like, oh god, no, absolutely not. You were way too preppy and pretty for me. You're 100% not my type. Chris is like, oh yeah, oh really? And she's like, oh yeah, no, I mean, you totally disgusted me. Of course, we have nothing in common, Chris. What are you talking about? And just banter a little bit before Chris has to go ahead and head back home. But that doesn't mean they can't end up having a little bit more fun before he has to go out of here. So we'll let their banter devolve into something a little bit more, as Chris is going to go ahead and live in this little fantasy for a little bit longer, wondering what it might be like if he goes ahead and takes Rosie up on her offer to move away with her. So we will leave those two up to their activities as we take a little bit of a time jump to the weekend, as it's finally time for the Ritter Family Charity Gala. We're at the Ritter Family Mansion. It is the weekend. It is time for the famed charity gala that we have been talking about, that Amanda's been helping plan for a while now. And Chris and Amanda are outside of the house here, about ready to go in, say hello to her parents. Things are a little bit rocky between the two. Of course, things haven't exactly been patched over once Chris headed home. They've just been a little bit chilly between the two. Amanda's definitely not happy with him, but Chris has sort of been standing his ground, at least to some degree, and not really just groveling and falling back into letting him treat letting her treat him like that. So they've just sort of been at an awkward standstill, but he knows she expects him to be a bit of the perfect kind of, doting husband tonight, to sort of just be arm candy on her arm at her family's charity gala, which is sort of what she's telling him outside the house of, even if they haven't spoken a ton in a bit, just like, all right, don't embarrass me in there, like, this is a big deal, and regardless of what's going on between us, like, that needs to not come up tonight. Do you understand? And Chris, rolling his eyes, is like, yeah, I know, Amanda, let's just get this over with. So if Sims will load at all, we will go ahead and have them go. Oh, God, Sims is not happy. We'll let them go ahead and head on into the gala. We might take a short pause in between here, and I might just delete a bunch of furniture in this house. To hopefully have it load a little bit better, because I swear it was loading like okay a minute ago, and now it's not. Alright, I don't know why I had like a southern drawl on that, but Chris and Amanda are going to go ahead and head into the house. And say hello to Amanda's parents, who are sort of waiting in the foyer here to greet most of their guests, and are waiting to excitedly say hello to their daughter, of course, who they know should be showing up any minute now into their family home. Mom is, as usual, pretty drunk off her ass already. The gala is pretty much in full swing at this point, but of course Amanda wanted to arrive fashionably late to the situation. Hopefully they'll go ahead and head on in here. Yes, this is the Ritter family house that I think we're gonna delete some bedrooms in a minute before we continue, but they'll go ahead and head in and say hello, exchange pleasantries, exchange some hugs and like cheek kisses and such as usual. And Mom's not going to say much, but Amanda's father, Matthias, over here is a pretty boisterous guy, and of course will give his daughter a big hug and, welcome her and Christopher, of course, and sort of make a crack at Christopher about how he better be taking care of his little girl, hope you're treating her well, buying her lots of gifts, making her feel loved. And Chris is not really in the mood to be playing these games. He's not gonna necessarily cause a scene, but he's not gonna respond much. So Amanda will go ahead and swoop in and answer for him and be like, oh, of course, Daddy, everything's wonderful. He actually bought me these earrings that I'm wearing tonight, so don't worry, I'm being loved and spoiled as always. And he'll just give a deep belly chuckle and be like, oh good, my little princess, gotta make sure that you're treating my baby girl the way she deserves. Christopher there, and he'll just kind of nod along, not really wanting to be here at all, of course, as they go ahead and continue on to the rest of their gala to entertain their guests. I won't have them walk too far away so the game doesn't absolutely die, but they're gonna go ahead and head on out. And as they're sort of leaving the scene here, Amanda's mom sort of wobbling her way after her husband here. Chris is going to turn to Amanda and be like, oh, did I buy your earrings for tonight now? And Amanda's like, yeah, at least your credit card did, which I guess we can call the start of my string of apology presents that I'm expecting. So they'll continue to head into the gala as, she of course needs to make a big appearance, being the daughter of the family here. Chris just sort of rolling his eyes after her as they go ahead and make their way on in as well. In the little dancey ballroom area here, let's just pretend there's a lot of other families here as well that I wasn't even going to try and put into the household, but most of the prominent richer families in the in the town are here, and so Samantha and Maxwell are kind of over here on the dance floor, breaking it down, as they did decide to go as friends in the last episode, as we saw. I don't know if we can get them to dance, but Samantha's kind of talking to Max as they dance and talking about how she can definitely tell that people like Quinn and Beverly are glaring daggers into her back from across the room. I guess the music turned off, but we'll pretend they're all dancing here. We got Charlie Shakoba and Mahini are all kind of sitting around, standing around having a good time dancing as well. But Samantha's kind of nervous about the girls that she thought were her friends that were pretty cruel to her in the last episode. Sort of giving her dirty looks dancing again with Max here, or at least, you know, some kind of confused looks. Max is like, yeah, whatever, screw them. I don't really care if they're gonna stare at us weird. Like, we know what, you know, our relationship is for now, and they can think whatever they want to think. And listen, if they want to say anything to you again about me or you, or be that mean to you ever again, then I'll stand up to them if you want me to. Like, I don't give a single shit about what they think, as he'll just continue to dance even dorkier with Samantha, kind of making her giggle, which she hasn't really done in a while, but she's feeling pretty good. Oh, excuse me, she's feeling pretty good having her best friend back to put a smile on her face, as everyone's, you know, in here having a good time, hanging out, dancing. Catalina's gonna go ahead and walk on through the room here. Are we all good? Can you guys hear me? Are we understanding what I'm saying? Oh, Charlie and Mohini Shakoba look very good. Yes, I'm glad you appreciate it. I spent a long time on all these gala outfits, so please appreciate them. We good? Okay, cool. As long as you guys are getting the story, then I'm not too pressed. But Catalina's gonna go ahead and walk by, and she'll go ahead, say a quick hello to Samantha, and say that, you know, oh, it's nice to see that you're having a good time, sweetie. It's good to see you smile again. And Samantha will kind of just smile back at her and be like, you know, oh, thanks, great Aunt Cat. I feel the same. Why don't you join us on the dance floor here? And Catalina's like, oh, I would absolutely love to. I'd love to show you kids up, show you guys some old school moves in a bit. I'll be back in a little bit. I'm gonna swing by the kitchen and say hello to my son real quick, but I'll catch you kids later, okay? And so, as she did say, Catalina's gonna go ahead and walk on through to the kitchen here. Oh, it's slogging, but we'll get the camera over there. We'll have Catalina head on over to the kitchen here, where our lovely caterers are attending to the food for the party. So we have Aaliyah and Catalina's son Antonio in here, and we'll pretend they're cooking, making up some good food for the gala. But Catalina's gonna go ahead and swing by and go ahead and say hello to Antonio here, and she's kind of swung by the kitchen a couple times. Hello, Sims, are you gonna play? She's already swung by the kitchen a couple times as the night has gone on, to make sure everything's all good over here, with with her son over here, and his girlfriend. And so once she makes it over here, you know, they're doing pretty well though, and Tony's on a good relationship with his mom, so he'll go ahead and give her a hug and a kiss. Hello. We'll pretend that's happening as she just makes her way on over here. And it's like, thank you, Mom, don't worry, things are going fine. And she's like, oh, okay, I just wanted to make sure. I know I've already swung by a few times, but I wanted to make sure that, you know, things are all good. Like, you know that I've picked up a few cooking skills from your dad as well, so I could be of help if you guys wanted it at any point. You know, I'm looking out for you, Tony. And he's like, yeah, thank you, Mom. I know you are. We have run a catering business for a very long time. We know what we're doing. We got everything handled in here. Don't worry about it, okay? And Kat's like, yeah, no, it's fine. I just want to, you know, I'm here to help. I want to, you know, be as helpful as possible. I'm just glad that you at least got an opportunity to be here at the gala along with everyone else in some shape or form. And Tony's like, yes, I appreciate it. I love you, Mom. Please just let us do our work, okay? You know, we're all good over here. And, good, kind of wanting to maybe hang out a little bit more. Cat's like, okay, no, it's fine, I understand. Like, if you, just holler if you need anything. I guess I'll be around. And so, Catalina will honor her son and, practically daughter-in-law's request, as Aaliyah will just kind of smile at Catalina as well and be like, you know, thank you, Cat. So she'll go ahead and head on out of the kitchen, leave them to their business here, as we're gonna go ahead and head on outside to the kind of main courtyard area where the general festivities are going to be taking a place, on over here. And so Brent's kind of sitting out here with Cypress and Hunter, who are here as well on outside, and Brent's kind of just rolled up and is like, oh, right, kind of forgot that you guys would be here. I sort of forget you're a Clarke sometimes. And Hunter's like, that's fair, I do as well. And, you know, Cypress is like, yeah, of course, I don't necessarily want you to be here, but since my art's plastered all over the walls, I guess I should probably show up anyways. And as they're sort of sitting out here, chatting and catching up a little bit, someone else is gonna go ahead and walk on over, just arriving to the gala and all. And so we'll have our dear, our lovely Rosalie go ahead and head on over here, as she's just shown up to the gala and has been seeking out Cypress to go say hello. So, I don't know if Cinder's gonna handle it, so let's pretend that Cypress is standing up to give Rosalie a big hug, and Brent looks a little bit quizzical and is gonna be like, oh, wait, how do you guys know each other? And Rosalie, kind of irritated, will just turn to her dad and be like, how do I know my sister? What? What do you mean? Are you kidding me? And Brent's like, oh, because I was like, why do you know my drug sister? And then Rosalie's like, Dad, are you kidding me? I introduced you to. I am the one who ended up introducing you to a couple years ago. Also, Cypress, are you dealing drugs to my dad? And Cypress is like, sorry, he pays really well, okay? And Rosalie's not really happy to hear this, but she understands, like, that Cypress does need to make money to support her life, and she's like, God damn it, okay, fine, listen, I'm not happy about that, but I'm not gonna, I don't have the energy to deal with, like, being here tonight and being angry at you, so I will we can talk about that later. Cypress is like, okay, good, not angry enough to not let me feel that baby bump, hopefully, and Rosie's like, yeah, of course, but let's go somewhere more private if you want to do so. That's not exactly completely public knowledge yet. So Rosie and Cypress will head on off to do that, as Brent's head's kind of reeling as a few more conversations and things are starting to make a little bit more sense to him again. He's like, God, I can't believe I forgot that Cypress is her half-sister. Duh. And Hunter's like, yeah, wait, why didn't you know? And Brent's like, I don't know. Wait, you know? And Hunter's like, yeah, I mean, most people know that, Brent. And Brent's feeling even shittier than he kind of has been about his behavior the last few years, as it's clear that he's really kind of been letting a lot go to the wayside. He really has been forgetting so much. So much has been slipping his mind lately, and Hunter's gonna go ahead and get up as well and be like, I'm gonna go grab another drink if you want me to grab you one, dude. And Brent's like, no, it's fine. I've been trying to stay pretty sober tonight anyway, so don't worry about it. And Hunter's like, oh, okay, chill. I mean, proud of you, dude. That's good. Good on ya. And I mean, I was right. You do clean up pretty well. Kind of making Brent blush a little bit as Hunter goes ahead and gets up to head to the bar. If I can find him on the portrait panel, my God. Oh, thank you, Sims. So he's gonna go ahead and head on over to the bar, which is just across the courtyard. A couple other people are already kind of sitting over here at the bar, though, as we have, oh? Well, there should be a couple people sitting here anyways. As, it should be Amy and Robert II, who I guess has gotten up to play ping pong for a minute, but canonically, Robert II's kind of been spending most of his time sitting at the bar over here, downing drink after drink. Amy has kind of quietly sat down next to him to see if he'll respond at all. They haven't really spoken much since the big blow up at the Winston family dinner. Amy's been pretty upset about it, but she's trying to talk to him kind of now as he's sort of been drinking most of the night. She can tell he's pretty drunk and is going to be like, okay, hey, sweetie, do you think you should really necessarily be drinking this much in public? Oh, God, everyone's needs are going down because I reloaded the household. And, oh, yeah, there you go. Robert's still pretty upset. And, Robert's just like, what do you care? Go care about the Clarke kid or whatever the hell. And Amy's still pretty frustrated and is like, oh my God, you've been pretty MIA until tonight, so I haven't really had a chance to talk to you about things that are going on until you showed up at the gala here tonight, but I don't know why you were on about this Clarke thing. And Robert II's drunk enough to have enough loose lips and be just like, oh, please. My dad told me about how he saw you and Hunter at the Clarke Estate the other night. I just stop treating like I'm stupid. And Amy's just still kind of taken aback, like, oh my God, since when do you listen to everything that your father tells you? And why didn't you come try and talk to me about that first? I would explain to you. And Robert's just like, save it, Amy. Why are you suddenly getting all defensive about it? If it's not true, then, okay, just leave me be. I don't want to talk about this right now. I think she's not going to really get anywhere with how drunk Robert is right now, and so she's going to go ahead and kind of exasperatedly get up from the bar. This isn't exactly how she wanted to spend her evening at this gala here, but as she gets up, oh my God, help, Sims. As she go ahead and gets up from the bar, we'll pretend they're kind of standing against the wall here. She's gonna go ahead and run into Hunter, who is, of course, headed to the bar to get another drink himself to handle this evening. And Hunter can kind of tell that something's, Amy doesn't look happy necessarily. And so Amy's just kind of relegated herself to be a wallflower for a bit, sort of just standing over here. So Hunter is gonna go ahead and saddle up next to her and be like, hey, what you doing here all alone? And Amy will look up a little irritated at first, but quickly realizing that it's Hunter, not some other random dad that has shown up to this gala. Let me see if I can get Hunter to at least face the same direction as Amy. And Amy will eventually acknowledge his presence and just kind of be like, oh, hey, and give a vague gesture in Robert II's direction, who's still slumped over at the bar there, as Hunter sort of gives a knowing nod. Pretend it's night. It's going to continue to get lighter out because this is all taking a hella long time in Sims hours, so all of the Sims time is going by very quickly, even though no one's moving very fast themselves. Anyways, she'll give a nod over to Robert, and Hunter will be like, got it. And a little awkwardly, not really sure, what to say. Hunter will go ahead and crack a line at her and just be like, hey, it's his loss. I wouldn't want to lose, like, a fine piece of ass like you, Amy. And she's gonna immediately blush and get a little flustered. We'll pretend she is. And just repeat back to him, like, Hunter, I don't know how many times I have to tell you that I have a husband, or at least hope I still have a husband. And Hunter's just gonna kind of chuckle and be like, yeah, Amy, I know, and I've told you that you blush way too easily, and it's way too fun to make you blush constantly. I know that, I know you're with Robert, okay? And, Amy will just kind of chuckle, but she's still feeling pretty down about everything. And Hunter sort of realized that his stupid jokes aren't really helping, and oh goodness, as she's crying, and it'll just be like, listen, Amy, I know he's upset right now, but if the way that you're constantly gushing about him means anything, then your guys' love is real and one that's gonna last. Everything will be okay, alright? He'll be okay eventually and get over whatever, he's upset about now, I'm sure of it. And Amy will kind of smile and give him a thank you at that before being like, all right, I mean, thank you, but you probably shouldn't be seen with me anyways. Marissa's gonna be up your ass if she sees you over here, so go ahead and get, which, speaking of, do you have any other documents you can give me? All of the things you've given me so far are so vague. I don't know if we can actually build a case around that, and I know it's been already difficult for you to get me whatever you have so far, but I don't know if we have anything without any more concrete stuff. And Hunter will look a little sheepish at that, but be like, yeah, I know, sorry, I'm doing my best. It's just really hard to do anything without her finding out, but I'm trying, and I will try to do that. We can talk later, though. Hopefully you're not gonna mope around all night. Okay. Let's enjoy this charity for what the hell is this charity gala even for? And Amy's like, bees, I think. And Hunter just rolls his eyes like, yeah, okay, of course it is for the most relevant cause we need to be focusing on right now. All right, I will disperse. Take care, Amy. And she'll kind of solemnly nod along and let him get going there. As we're gonna go ahead and move on over to Brent again for a second. Although I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna go to my intro screen as I set up the next scene, just so I can go ahead and move a couple of Sims out of the household that we don't need in the scenes anymore, to hopefully take a little bit more of the pressure off of the game for loading all these Sims at once. So let me just move a couple people out, and then we'll head on over to Brent, who is just still kind of sitting on that bench over there, kind of processing everything, really kind of realizing how much he definitely needs to get his act together. If he's gonna forget something as big as his own daughter's like half-sister, then he's really thinking that he needs to shape up if he's going to be in any sort of shape to be a grandparent to this child that Rosalie's pregnant with whenever she does end up having it. And so, let's see. Luckily, though, to kind of take some of that pressure off of Brent's brain, alone, his new fast friend, Jacob Henderson, of course, is also here and is gonna go ahead and see Brent sort of sitting at that bench over there, and head on over to Brent to have a conversation with him, noticing that he's a little bit down, taking a break from the dance floor and such, and he'll head on over to Brent and say hello. Jacob's looking a little bit rough. He looks like a little bit tired and run ragged, but he's here with smiles nonetheless, contemplating things as Jacob heads on over and says hey to him, and Brent will sort of let him in on what's going on in his head as Jacob sort of asks, like, what's up with him, and he's like, Jesus Christ, I can't believe that, like, I forgot who my daughter's half-sister was. I don't know. I knew I needed to get my shit together, but that feels like the last straw. I can't just keep being so scatterbrained and out of it like this. Jacob's gonna go ahead and be like, yeah, I won't lie to you, that one's pretty bad. And Brent's like, listen, I think I am gonna take you up on your offer if you're still willing to be my sponsor, even knowing just how much of a mess I am. And Jacob's like, yeah, dude, like I said, I completely understand what you're going through, at least to some extent, and I am happy to help if you need it. So Brent's like, yeah, I think I'd really like that moving forward. I'm already trying to at least stay sober for tonight. So are you okay though? You're looking, you look a little rough. And Jacob's like, yeah, I'm okay. There's just been a lot of shit going on with Castle Trust. I don't really need to get into it right now, but there's a lot of people pretty mad at me. There's a lot that's been going on, and I definitely need to figure out what exactly to do about it. So no need to worry about it for tonight, though. It is a fun gala event. We should be having fun. And as they're still kind of talking over here, let's see, a couple other people are gonna go ahead and head on over to say hello to them. Marissa being one of them who's headed on over. We also have Mr. Robert Winston. Brent's dad has seen him over here talking to Jacob as Marissa kind of rolls up to start a conversation with Jacob, just being like, oh, hey, you know, good to see you. She's just making her general pleasantries and small talk rounds, talking to the other prominent families in that are here at the gala and such, as Robert's gonna roll up to and speak to them and say to his son, like, a little bit irritated, kind of giving some side eye at Brent and Jacob sitting next to each other and being like, oh, didn't realize that you two had continued to hang out. Hello, Jacob, lovely to see both of you over here. Was kind of surprised to see you both sitting together. Not exactly sure what the other families are gonna think of that, but you know, I guess you do you. And Brent pretty frustrated at it. If Robert will make his way over here, actually. Brent's just kind of rolling his eyes at his dad and being like, oh, yeah, no, God forbid that the town, you know, worries I might be gay by sitting next to one of the known gay people in town. So I'm sure my reputation as the Winston child fuck-up will for sure be ruined if they notice this. Thanks, Dad. And Robert's definitely, you know, like, oh, all right, cut out the attitude. I'm just, you know, looking out for the family, of course. And it's gonna go ahead and leave them be at the frosty tone he's received from his fun. Jacob just kind of chuckling at it and saying like, oh, sorry about that. And Brent's like, no, it's fine. I mean, I want to wring his neck sometimes, but whatever. I don't care. I'm tired of dealing with his bullshit anyways. I can sit whoever the hell I want to sit next to. Jesus Christ. And Marissa's just like, well, you know, I for one think it's lovely to see you all. Lovely to see all these, you know, important big names here tonight. Glad to see people like the Hendersons and the Devines actually all together in one space again with us, the Clarkes and Winstons for once, and kind of listening to that. I mean, Brent's been reflecting a lot on how he's been forgetting stuff lately, and he knows that he's like heard and seen those names around and stuff, but it's starting to kind of like dawn on him exactly why those names like seem familiar like recently in his mind. And as Marissa and Jacob are gonna continue talking, Brent's just gonna kind of mutter under his breath and be like, right, that's what was on his computer screen. And Marissa's gonna kind of catch a little bit of what Brent was saying though, and sort of snap her attention to him and just be like, excuse me? On what? And Brent's just gonna a little sheepish. Marissa can be a little bit intimidating when her attention's directly put on you, you know. And Brent's just like, what? No, nothing. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna go grab some appetizers, I guess. And Brent's just gonna awkwardly kind of excuse himself from this situation. The kids have gone to school, apparently. Don't worry about it. Brent will just kind of excuse himself from this conversation over here. And as we let Marissa stew on out here with Jacob. We'll head back on into the dance floor here as, let's see if I can get the Sims I want over to the dance floor as Chris and Amanda have been making their rounds, and it's time for one of the Ritter family, charity gala traditions as a lot of the especially the younger people in the crowd sort of participate in this type of waltz line dance kind of thing. A little dance where you start with a partner and then just kind of they switch partners throughout the dance and such, and so most of the younger people have kind of been dragged into it. If I can get most of them on over here. I was hoping to actually get to see them slow dance, but we'll just pretend that they're, doing a waltz and trading off partners every now and then. And it turns out, after trading partners a couple times, our lovely Miss Rosie and Christopher have actually ended up as partners in this dance here. It's been a couple nights since, he last left Rosie's house. They've been talking and texting a lot, but Christopher still hasn't exactly given a concrete answer back to Rosalie yet, but they're gonna kind of awkwardly smile at each other as they dance together as they found themselves face to face here and discuss things a little bit as he kind of smiles at her as well. They know that neither of them can really do much, but it's kind of nice to be able to at least dance with each other without anyone raising an eyebrow at it. So as they continue to dance, Rosalie will go ahead and kind of ask Chris about the outfit first of all. Be like, wow, that is quite the suit there, Chris. And he's like, yeah, Amanda's taste, not mine exactly. And Rosalie's like, oh, I couldn't tell. That looks exactly like something that you would pick out. Chris just kind of chuckling, having missed her banter in real life as they continue to dance together. Let me see if I can at least get them to sort of go face to face. And Rosalie's gonna sort of quietly ask him, as everyone else is preoccupied with their own dance partners, whether he's thought any more about her offer or not, about moving in. And Chris is gonna go ahead and smile at her and kind of quietly tell her that, he's been thinking about it a lot and he still hasn't exactly come up with an answer yet. Things have definitely been really stressful the last couple of days between, there's been a lot of tension between him and Amanda, and of course with the gala coming up, there's been a lot of pressure on them especially, but don't worry, it has not slipped his mind, and he will definitely give her an answer soon. And Rosalie is definitely happy to hear that, as Chris kind of lets her know too that it's sort of nice to at least be able to dance with her, even if Chris is like, even if I wish I could be holding you a little closer, this is at least something. And Rosalie sort of giggles and definitely agrees with him. And on the other side of the dance floor, it turns out that actually Amanda has ended up being dance partners with Cypress over here, as Amanda kind of raises a questioning eyebrow and is like, what the hell? Why are you on the male partnering side? And Cypress is just like, oh my god, it's 2020, Amanda. Okay, I can do what I want. And also, regardless, I prefer to be, I prefer to be the more dominant partner anyways. Just kind of smiling at her as Amanda definitely gets all awkward and flushed. She's like, excuse me? Cypress laughing her ass off, fucking with Amanda, of course. And kind of over on the other side of the dance floor is Charlie. We'll pretend her partners are over there dancing as well, but kind of off to the side, she's noticed that her mom and dad are sitting close to the dance floor too. They were sort of, standing dancing for a little bit, but Lorena's gone ahead and kind of pulled them off of the dance floor because as they are here as Clarke, the Clarke couple, the eldest Clarke child couple, they have been keeping up appearances. Lorena hasn't really spoken to Justin since they've gotten divorced, or at least she asked for a divorce, but he's been definitely really keeping the act up a lot, and was getting a little bit too close for comfort for Lorena on the dance floor, really getting handsy with her, and she got uncomfortable enough that she sort of pulled them off the dance floor. Justin being a little annoyed, saying that, like, what is the problem? We're supposed to be keeping up appearances until you've decided to go public with, we've figured out how to go public with anything, right? And Lorena's like, yeah, no, Justin, I know that, but that doesn't mean that you get to still just have your hands all over me, okay? Like, we can have boundaries that look normal, but aren't too far, alright? We're not actually together, and you can't just completely act like we are, alright? And Justin's still not exactly saying what she's saying, and is definitely annoyed, saying that people are going to know that something is up if we don't just act like, we're usually all over each other, though. We have to act like normal, okay, babe? And it's just like, I would rather, we can tone it down, okay? It's a professional gala anyways, so that's just, can we not? And Justin is definitely frustrated at the pushback from her, still maybe a little bit bitter and heartbroken because of everything that's gone down anyways, so Justin's gonna storm off a little bit, go get a drink at the bar himself. He can just head into the indoor bar out here, and Charlie has sort of noticed this interaction happening, noticed that her mom is not particularly happy looking over here, and so Charlie's gonna go ahead and excuse herself from the dance floor as well to go talk to her mom for a moment and make sure that she's doing okay. And she's like, hey, I can tell you're kind of tense. Is everything all right? And Lorena's like, yeah, just your father taking things too far, as always. And so sorry, ignore the school pop-ups, because the kids just autonomously went to school since this has taken over a day or two in Sims time. But Lorena will assure Charlie, she's like, it's fine, your father's just being an asshole. I'm okay though. And Charlie's like, all right, I just wanted to make sure. I mean, you let me know if you're not. Okay, I know that you need to keep up appearances or whatever, but like, if it's making you uncomfortable, you don't have to, you know that, right? If you decide that you don't want to kind of keep up that facade tonight, if it gets to be too much, you can tell him to fuck off, and if you do, I'll be there to back you up 100%, you know that, right? Mom, I'm tired of him treating you like that too, and I also won't let it happen, and I know, like, Schick and Mo won't. Okay. And Lorena's like, okay, thank you. I'm not gonna make a scene. That's not the time for that, but, that's good to know. Thank you. And, Charlie's like, yeah, of course, Mom. You know we got each other. And, I'm not gonna make this actually happen because it'll take too long. But as everyone's kind of hanging out and dancing here, as the dance is sort of winding down, a couple people on the dance floor, Cypress being one of them, sort of notices that Marissa is kind of angrily and sternly walking through the dance floor, heading out to the next room over, kind of towing a certain Brent Winston along with her, and she definitely does not look happy. So we'll leave the ballroom there as we head back outside. Rona and Justin have been, enjoying the fresh air out in the courtyard. We'll go ahead and head on over to Justin and Rona, who have been sitting out here on this bench for a while, enjoying the gala, just kind of people watching, and we'll pretend they're there as the actual Sims head back over. And Robert is walking on up to them and is decided that it's finally time to go start a conversation with his rival, of course. And let's see if we can get them over here. It's just kind of general small talk, of course. Robert saying, oh, hello, it's been quite a long time, Justin, I guess. Wonderful to see how you're doing. Let's pretend Justin's in a suit for now, and as I can go ahead and change him into a suit as we talk here. Justin sort of exchanging somewhat bitchy pleasantries right on back with Robert, and most of their conversation is not really anything of substance, just the two sort of continuing to trade blows back and forth with each other of typical kind of petty insults at one another. Rona just sort of smirking alongside Justin as the two do so, and eventually Rona will quip back at him, though, of like, oh, you two are so amusing because sometimes you just don't realize just how alike you both truly are. Sort of setting off Justin and Robert again as they both completely deny it. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, I couldn't be more opposite from this man. Are you kidding me? Oh, I would rather die than be, considered of the same caliber as him. Rona just sort of chuckling at the continued chaos and tiff that she's sort of perpetuated here in this conversation, and eventually they're gonna both just not want to continue talking to each other. So even though Robert never actually came over here, Robert and Justin are gonna disperse on their own. Rona just continuing to kind of sit here looking pleased with herself as another certain someone is gonna go ahead and head on over to Rona now that she's alone here. Let me make sure I'm on track with everything I wanted to do. So yeah. Oh, it's mainly that Sims are just not listening when I say go here now. But yes, now that Rona's just sort of smirking at those events over here on her own, we have someone else from the Winston family heading on over as she's been making the rounds, maybe even checking in on the kitchen a couple more times. But Miss Catalina is actually headed over to talk to Rona now as she's finally standing here alone. If the sim will ever make it on over here. I don't know where she's at. Oh, there she is. Catalina's making her way over and is going to kind of give a slight wave to Rona as she gets closer. Rona saying hello to her as she comes over. The two pretty friendly with each other, and Catalina just kind of asking what the boys' conversation was about, and Rona being like, oh my god, just bickering as usual. I tuned most of it out, as I typically do, and Ronald sorry, I scrolled too far in my script. Okay. And so both will just kind of smile at each other, and Rona's gonna go ahead and turn to Catalina and just be like, so how's your night going? Is everything still going as planned? And Catalina's like, yeah, for the most part. I mean, besides a couple speed bumps, but don't worry, the minor speed bumps. Everything's going totally fine, but I guess I should continue to make my rounds and keep an eye on things. And Rona's like, yeah, no, of course, I'll go make sure the boys haven't gotten too angry at each other. And so the two are gonna go ahead and quickly disperse from their conversation as well. And so after that, it's finally time for the big dinner for the gala. So most people are going to start kind of filing in and heading to the middle courtyard area as the food is about to be served up. And we'll go ahead and get a couple people. Cypress is heading on in from the dance floor and to the table where Hunter already was, and Rosalie's kind of sitting over here with her sister, of course, as well, and as Rosie's kind of heading in from the dance floor as well, and is gonna ask either of them if she's actually or if they've seen her dad. And Hunter's just gonna shrug and be like, oh, nah, I've been kind of chilling at the bar until I headed over here. And Cypress is like, I don't know, the last time I saw him, it looked like Marissa was dragging him up to the entertainment room upstairs. And Rosie's like, oh, weird, okay. Just wanted to make sure he hadn't skipped out, I guess. And Hunter will backtrack a little and be like, oh, wait, you saw Marissa taking Brent somewhere? And Cypress is like, yeah, I don't know why. Like, that's what it looked like. And Hunter's gonna start to look a little bit more nervous at that, just like, oh, what? Oh, fuck. Okay. Cypress, of course, asking, you know, is everything okay? And I'm just like, yeah, yeah, everything should, yeah, it should be okay. I need to check on something. I'll be back, excuse me, for a minute. And so he's gonna go ahead and head out for a minute, and everyone else in most of the families is kind of starting to congregate in the courtyard area here. Let's pretend that it's sort of filling up with all of the guests as they're hanging out, getting ready for dinner. Most of the families are sort of sticking alongside one another. The Clarkes and Winstons at their own separated areas of the courtyard and different tables, of course. Ooh. So we'll at least get the people that we need on out here. As we head over to the table with the Clarkes, where actually Lorena and Justin are sitting. They've been making small talk with some of the other family members, and, you know, other families kind of sitting around the Clarkes. And despite what Lorena has continued to say to Justin, her ex-husband, he's not really knocked off his behavior from the dance floor. He sort of continued to be all over her and trying to be a little bit more handsy and romantic with her than she'd like, even for keeping up appearances and such. And she's getting pretty tired of it, not wanting to like create too big of a scene in front of everyone else because she knows that'll look really suspicious. But she's getting pretty tired of kind of pushing his hand a little bit higher or lower respectively on her body, or, you know, kind of stepping another step away from him. And eventually she's just gonna, you know, kind of try and start getting out under her teeth to, like, you know, honey, like, we're around people, maybe calm down, like, you know, knock it off a little bit. And Justin's been, you know, having a couple drinks after the first time she was trying to say anything to him, and it's just kind of generally flirty, bantering along with it, still not actually listening to Lorena, to the point where she's gonna get annoyed and frustrated enough that she is just gonna flat out push his arm off of her and be like, Justin, I said stop it. And he'll be pretty angry at that, getting some definite raised eyebrows from the people they were talking with, and even some of the tables across, as, you know, her voice is kind of carrying, and a bit of a scene is starting to form. Justin being like, what, you don't, you know, want me to touch you? Like, you're my wife. It's like, yeah, but we're in public, so maybe you could tone it down a little bit. And continuing to argue, Justin saying, like, what, you don't even want my hands on you at all then, even if, you know, oh, my dear loving wife, really needling in on the point until Lorena's gonna snap a little bit, get enough frustrated that she'll just really physically shove him away, saying that, like, because I'm not your lovely wife, okay, I don't want your hands on me, I'm in love with another woman, not you. And that's 100% gonna turn a bunch of heads. Rona kind of glaring daggers at her daughter-in-law from across the courtyard from the other Clarke table, and Lorena looking pretty sheepish, realizing what she just blurted out in front of all these people. Even if she didn't want to cause a scene, she's realized that she 100% has, and Charlie seeing this happen and not wanting her mother to get ringed out or have all the attention on her is gonna give a little look at Jacoba and Mohini, who are sitting near Charlie, and they'll give her, you know, a knowing look back and a little nod, and Charlie's gonna go ahead and stand up as well and just be like, well, I'm also dating a woman, along with my boyfriend. I have a boyfriend and a girlfriend, so if you're gonna say shit to my mom, if you're gonna say shit about her, then you gotta say shit about me. You gotta go through me first, alright? If you want to talk about her, you gotta start with me. And Justin looking pretty surprised here. Most of the family, Lorena kind of startled, but maybe a little grateful that Charlie is taking some heat off her. A little worried for her daughter, but Charlie gives her a look of like, don't worry, Mom, I got this. As Rona kind of stands up as well, just like, okay, enough, both of you. Rona very appalled at the information that is coming out, very upset at the way the ladies in her family are conducting themselves. And as much as this scene is definitely drawing the attention on this side of the courtyard, the the other family in contention here has a bit of their own storm brewing over at the Winston table. Can I find another table around here? We'll just put it over at the bar, as Robert II hasn't left the bar most of the night anyways, and so, Robert's kind of been talking to some other peers along with Robert II, and not all conversation across the whole courtyard has necessarily died just because of the Lorena and Charlie commotion over there. But there's definitely kind of a more fight continuing to start, as Robert's not necessarily changed any of his behavior with his son, especially with other people making snide comments about the way that Robert II has been conducting Insurso business and such. And as we know, Robert II has already snapped and is not really caring much anymore, is very drunk at this point into the evening, and will just argue back with his dad, even if it's not only in front of his family, but most of the prominent families in town. His voice carrying even more than Lorena's as that drama's kind of subsiding. Pretty much everyone at the gala turning their attention over to the bar as Robert II's slurring, booming voice is carrying, just yelling to his dad. They're like, all right, yeah, you know what? Okay, fine. Fuck it. You won. You're right. Okay? The company's tanked. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I did wrong, but yeah, okay? It's not going well. We've lost most of it. We've lost most of the money. Maybe you were right. You shouldn't have given, your son, the company, this whatever reason. Sorry, I was trying to keep every other goddamn thing going in this family, but it's not been working with the company, okay? We're pretty close to bankrupt. I don't know. We've lost most of it. Not all of it, but most of it. So, you're right. You won. You can stop yelling at me about it now, because I fucking know. I know, okay? You can all know now. You can all harass me about it later, alright? And everyone kind of be pretty shocked by that. Amy definitely startled as well, as Robert sort of angrily stumbles his way on out of the main area of the courtyard. He'll head inside to take a moment to cool down. Juliette definitely noticing her son's outburst, of course, and feeling the need to go talk to him about some things, finally, and so Juliette's gonna go ahead and head on over to talk to her son as well, even if Robert's, it sort of puts a hand on her arm and it's like, it's not worth it, he's not gonna, listen to you, and Juliette's like, I'm going to go console my son, okay? and shrugging Robert's arm off, sort of startling him. She doesn't necessarily stand up to him too much, but she's realized things have definitely been pushed past a certain point with her son, and feeling a bit guilty with how things have gone. She definitely wants to make sure he's okay and go have a word with him. So as Robert II's trying to cool off, trying to not have a total panic attack and breakdown, it's been a little bit since he has, just because he's been pushing everything down so deeply, but he definitely kind of feels it coming as his mother is gonna go ahead and join him over here. It's not someone he necessarily wants to talk to, but he'll let Juliette sit down next to him, and Juliette's gonna start in with Robert just being like, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have let Robert hand the company over to you when he did. I guess I was hoping that despite all odds, everything would be okay still. Oop, is my graphics card freezing a little bit? Okay, there we go. Just want to make sure it's all good before I continue. But yeah, Julia will say that I'm so sorry. I was hoping things that would maybe work themselves out. That was probably silly of me to do, but as confident as your father was in the way things were going, he didn't necessarily know everything that was going on. Oh, thank you for the raid, Jimmy. Things are a little laggy, but we're finishing up a season finale of a very long story we've been telling for quite a few weeks. So, spoilers if you don't know the story so far and do want them. Things are a little bit jumpy, but we're focusing on the storytelling right now. But welcome, thank you. Very contentious time for you to show up. As Juliette's gonna explain to her son that, yeah, your father didn't necessarily know everything that is going on with the company. He maybe thought things were in a pretty good place, but that wasn't really on him. Pretty much since the start, I've sort of been the one that's been taking care of the bookkeeping and practically running the company from behind the scenes. And when your father told me that he wanted to retire and hand it over to you, I kept telling him that it maybe wasn't quite time yet, because I knew that once it was handed over to someone different, I wouldn't really be able to help the way that I always have to make sure that this family was supported. Your father's kind of terrible with money and numbers, as much as he likes to think that he's a genius, and I couldn't get through to him, of course, though, and once it was over to you, I didn't really have access to continue working behind the scenes like I have most of our lives. So I'm really sorry that you were put into that position. And I mean, Robert's kind of processing this through his alcohol-addled brain here, and kind of realizing that maybe what Catalina was saying is true. But first, he's just gonna ask his mom of, like, why didn't you ever say anything to Dad then, if it was going to be such an issue, if you were going to be handing such a tumultuous company over to my hands then, solely? And Juliette's going to explain to him that, Robert, your father is such a strong-headed, stubborn man. I mean, you are just as stubborn as him, but definitely have a more level head on your shoulders. He's not the most respectful or kind to smart women, if you haven't noticed, and I know that if he ever knew that I was the one who was actually responsible for all of his success, that would not have gone over well at all. Are you kidding me? I would have been kicked out, finding out that, you know, your wife, the lady of the house, is the one who was actually running things the whole time, is probably one of the most embarrassing things that your father could ever find out. And I just wanted to keep the peace and wanting to make sure that we at least stayed supported as a family no matter what happened. So I couldn't tell him, and I couldn't risk him finding out. And Robert will retort at her at that finally, though, and be like, okay, so, all right, everything that Aunt Cat told me is true then. Kind of souring Juliette's mood a little more there, being like, okay, what exactly did your aunt tell you? And Robert's going to explain exactly what Cat told him, you know, that, yeah, she told me that you were the one who did have the paperwork for Dad, or at least you used to do the paperwork in the beginning of the company starting, and that, you know, you judged her harshly for all of her past crimes, even though apparently you were, you know, maybe committing some too, I don't know, just that you told her to go away because, you know, of whatever she'd done. And Juliette's like, okay, she told you it's because of her, whatever her criminal past is. And Robert's like, yeah, I don't know, I mean, you've always been pretty soft-spoken around me, but I can see you maybe judging her for that. And that's where Julia will get angry and say, okay, yeah, yes, you know the truth now that I'm the one who basically ran 𝕰𝕰𝕰𝕰 behind the scenes, but I don't care about Catalina's stupid petty theft or whatever she used to do in her past. That's not why I asked her to leave. Robert, I asked her to leave because she is basically the sole reason behind half of the conflict and drama and issues that has brought so much stress and turmoil to this family since the very start. And Robert's like, what are you talking about? Before Juliette can really answer, there's a lot of yelling coming from the courtyard now. Like, there's like a lot of commotion out there. So the two of them are gonna go ahead and run out to see what all is happening. And it turns out that everyone, this full courtyard of Sims, we're pretending is here so my computer doesn't die. A lot of people, especially, you know, most of the families that are insured and secured under the 𝕰𝕬𝕒𝕠𝕦𝕤 security company, are getting a lot of text alerts and stuff as their phones are kind of going off, and accounts are getting drained pretty quickly, and most eyes, of course, are turning over to Robert II and the Winstons as they head back into the room as the head of 𝕰𝕬𝕒𝕠𝕦𝕤 company, kind of confused, upset, and angry as everyone's trying to figure out what the hell is happening. I mean, they just heard him yell about how the company's going down, but now that their own accounts and companies are going down too, of course everyone's going to be upset. And Hunter's kind of running back into the room at the moment as this is happening. And so as Hunter kind of enters the room, Amy's gonna kind of have a look of realization wash across her face as she's like, oh, and like looks over at Hunter, and he's going to kind of guiltily avoid her gaze and try and ignore it as most of this commotion is going on. Julia, of course, has kind of excused herself since it's gotten a little bit tense out there. Julia's kind of taking a moment of solace outside in the ballroom. Oh, Sims, you okay? Julia's taking a little bit of a moment of solace in the ballroom here, away from all the yelling, and little Madison's gonna kind of wander in here though, because she's seen Julia. She's sort of been watching Julia from across the room most of the night after finding out that this is her birth mom, and now that she's sort of taken a break in there, she's gonna take a moment away from all the craziness and kind of go over and finally get closer to Julia instead of just kind of staring at her across the room all night. And Julia's pretty just zoned out at this point, staring off, and you know, her glass is kind of fallen to the floor as Maddie kind of knocked it over, bumping it at the table on accident, and she'll pick it up and like give it back to Julia, sort of snapping her out of her daze as Julia's like, oh, thank you, sorry, did you, are you okay, do you need anything? And Maddie's just a little bit awestruck, I guess, and isn't really gonna say much. She's been nervous to even be in the same room as Julia all night, and be like, oh, no, I just, I noticed you, came in here in the commotion. I don't know, I don't really like the commotion out there either. And Julia just kind of smiles at her and, is like, you're the Clarke kid, right? Madison? And, Madison's like, yeah, that's, that's me. And Julia's like, well, you know, you're welcome to sit in here with me as long as you need, I guess. I understand not wanting to be out there. And Madison is gonna ask her though if, you know, where's your husband? Isn't he usually around you? And Julia's face is gonna sour a little more at that, looking down and like, I don't know where he is. I haven't seen him since we showed up here together, and yeah, I guess we usually are pretty attached to the hip, aren't we? Madison kind of seeing that things have gotten a little bit awkward in here, and still being pretty nervous and not quite being able to get the words out, but just still feeling pretty awestruck getting to sit this close to Julia, and kind of just offering her a, well, I hope you feel better too. Julia's like, oh, that's Sweet, thank you. As the yelling has gotten pretty loud, and there's even been some crashing noises outside, most people's attention definitely turned out to the courtyard here as all of the commotion and the craziness and everyone fighting and yelling at each other has sort of culminated into where I think most people somewhat knew that this evening would end up to some degree. It's a pretty staple situation at most events where the Clarke families and the Winston families are forced to interact with each other, but Justin, Clarke, and Robert Winston have found themselves in the middle of all the commotion, taking the opportunity, of course, to yell at each other. Justin making a crack about, feeling victorious that it seems like Robert's family is and company is crashing and burning. Robert not taking favorably to Justin's reaction, of course, and the two are... Oh, excuse me. Hiccups. The two were in a pretty heated argument. Robert even just pushing Justin up against the bar, knocking over a few glasses and bottles and such, as the two are just completely getting into a brawl. Let me see if I can actually get them into a full all-out fight here. They usually get into, again, a pretty damn heated argument, but I guess they don't technically know each other. Shh, pretend. I do have them as nemesises in The Sims, but I guess the Sims have never actually met face to face, as they continue to have what's usually just a huge, argument between one another. It's gonna kind of get physical for the first, time. Things really heating up and boiling over much more than they typically do between the two, and, if I can get them into a fight here. Yeah, fight. Tensions have boiled over so much that Robert and Justin are literally just gonna lunge at each other. I mean, Robert just shoved him into the bar. The two are gonna absolutely go at each other and have an all-out brawl. Mixed reactions from most people across the courtyard as the two are incredibly angry at each other. Oh my god, school things, fuck off. This thing. More upset with each other and at odds than anyone has ever seen them before. So much so, like, things are so tense and stressful between them. Certain people, like, Juliette, Rona, Catalina, some of the other, women and family members close to them are maybe trying to, like, yell to them to break it up or calm them down or something, but they're absolutely seeing red. Neither of them are hearing a word that anyone else is saying, and with all of the stress, they're older guys, and the getting in like an all-out brawl like that is a little bit much for them to handle, and almost at the exact same time, both Robert and Justin seem to start clutching their chests and start to kind of double over as both of them seem to start having a heart attack. If I can find it for Robert here. Not dropping the argument between each other, of course. They'll never give up on that, but... where the hell was it? Well, we'll let Justin start doubling over in heart attack here, as Robert starts to do the same, seemingly both having a heart attack and collapsing onto the ground. Let me see if I can get Robert to do it as well. Sorry, pretend it's at the same time. Pretend. Help me. There it is. I guess maybe I couldn't kill them both at the exact same time in Sims. It's too much. Of course, you know, their wives rushing to the side, their families absolutely shocked beyond belief. Some people not exactly sure if they've died yet or just passed out, but after a bit, it's pretty clear that both of them are killed over and not breathing, perhaps poetically exactly how this was always going to end, with both of them sort of laying dead on top of each other, as the patriarch of both the Clarke and the Winston family have both finally collapsed and passed on over to the afterlife. The family's sort of distressed to various degrees around each other as the charity gala starts to round out. Successful, perhaps, for some people. Maybe not the most fun for others. But that is where we're gonna finally leave the charity gala. Yeah, this is about a week after the gala. Of course, things have been happening, and everyone's been mourning and figuring out how to deal with the deaths of Robert and Justin, respectively. But we're gonna just check in with Amanda for one moment, real quick here. Oh, okay, I guess we will leave Sims muted because it doesn't want to stop the music, but Amanda is going into the bedroom here to hopefully talk to Christopher, but it's not Christopher that she finds. It's actually a note left on the bed, and no Christopher to be found, that simply just says, I'm sorry, I have to leave for a while. I'll explain later, Chris. And oh, hello, camera. Amanda, of course, very upset reading this, looking out the window, noticing that Christopher's car is in fact missing, and Amanda is going to go ahead and very angrily slam down a positive pregnancy test on the end table and go ahead and stomp her way on out of the room. We're over at the Winston Manor now, as the similar stuff is happening here, of course, with mourning and such over Robert on this side of town, everyone kind of preparing things. But amidst all of that drama, one special someone has one thing that she definitely needs to do. Not the butler that's also walking into the house, but Madison Clarke has showed up to the Winston Manor here, is gonna knock on the door because she couldn't quite steal her nerves enough at the gala, but with all of the drama and loss that's been going on lately, she's decided to show up with a very important piece of paper in her hands, and luckily it is Julia that answers the door, kind of surprised and like, oh, Madison, right? What are you doing here? And still pretty nervous to actually say anything. Madison is just gonna go ahead and hand Julia the piece of paper, the biology test that simply states that she is her mother, and quickly reading it over, Julia's face is gonna go pretty white, and the poor girl, of course, reading that this is her daughter, is just gonna... Oh, that was a firework. Is just gonna go ahead and pass out and faint, kind of startling Madison, but of course kind of fainting at learning this news. Our very last scene as we finish off where the show started, actually 56 years ago on the same day that we saw at the beginning. Robert and Justin, young Robert and Justin, heading on into work in the morning before Justin even went out to get the package, get the anonymous tip about Robert going behind his back to lie about just him being the one instead of Justin who took up the lead on the big case there, and getting the promotion bright and early in the morning. And as we see, instead a bit before that moment, as someone is walking up and is going to go ahead and place that anonymous tip, that package out here before Justin can go ahead and get the mail for the day. And as this person goes ahead and leaves the package there on the doorstep and walks away, we see that in fact it is a young Catalina Winston who left the tip there. And that is where we will finally end the season finale of season 1 of Traitorous. So, thank you for sticking with me through our tumultuous season finale there. Sorry, it was definitely a little rougher than I was hoping, but I hope that you at least enjoyed the plot lines and the drama, even if the visuals weren't as up to par as I was picturing them in my head. A couple of you I know did, just to start calling this like right before this episode came out, and I was excited to hear you guys saying that and kind of cackling at it. I think there's a lot that happened in this episode, a lot to digest, so hopefully all of that did get caught in the episode, even if it was a bit laggy. I'll only apologize once more for that, but I'm sorry it was so rough, but I hope you still enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed the whole season. There is definitely more to come. It's not going to be for a while. There is going to be a second season of Traitorous. If you haven't heard me talking about it, it will probably not be until next summer, unfortunately. We have Bachelorette coming up next, and I can't really run Traitorous while I'm in school because it's a lot of work all week leading up until each episode, so it's not something I can do on top of my semesters, which will start up again in the fall. But I had a lot of fun with season 1. I hope you did as well. I'll be available in the Discord afterwards if you want to talk about it, or at any point thus if moving forward, if you have any questions, comments, concerns. Sorry, this episode ran so long, but we got it all out. We got all the information I wanted to cover in season 1 all there. Thank you for sticking with me and trying out this new project with me. I had a lot of fun. Tech difficulties aside and Sims being wily, I'm really happy with how it came out and the story. And guys, I have so many plans for season 2, not to annoy you since it's gonna be like a year, but so season 2 is gonna be really good. I have most of it already planned out, honestly. So I hope you're excited. I can't wait to hear all your theories about what might happen based off of things that went on in this this episode. To conclude things, thank you for all of the love and support the whole time. It definitely helped me stay excited about it moving forward, and I think that's about it. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful night and a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you later. Mwah! With all the love in the world. Nighty night.